Welcome again to this channel. This is Think Like an Ant, where we talk about money, how to grow money, and how to make it work for you. On this episode, we are talking about how to start a business. Stay tuned. So before we talk about starting a business, let's talk about the different types of businesses. Number one, there's the business we all want, which is a growing business. You know, you made 1,000 this time, then you made 10,000, then you made 20,000, then you made 100,000. That's a growing business. For many years, it keeps growing. The second kind of business is a stable business. It makes you maybe 700 cedis a month, or 10,000 cedis a month, or 1,500 cedis a month, or 100 cedis a month. Consistently, you keep making that amount of money. The third type of business, which we all don't want, is a business that doesn't do any of the two, but tends to go down, or has a cycle that is very unpredictable. So you may make a loss for a long time and then make a profit and make a loss and make a profit. In general, that's the kind of business that people wish they didn't want. But it's important to have this in your mind because whichever business you start, you need to understand which of the three it falls into, and it helps you to know how to proceed. Before you start the business, the first question you need to ask yourself is obviously what kind of business you want to start. But assuming you have that already, there's a second question in the first, which is what kind of business do you want this to be? Is it a side gig that is supplementing your main business or your main source of income? Or is it the fact that you don't have a job and you want it to provide stable income for you? Or is it a business you want to grow and hopefully quit your job and move into? This set of questions is important because it informs how you begin the business and how you plan for the future. The second important question is what need you are solving. Now, this question is critical because if you don't have the right answer, your business model is going to fail. A business is not designed to just bring out wants. It's hard to consistently do that. A business must solve a need. Of course, people's needs vary depending on their income and depending on their state of living, but you must be solving a need. You need to ask the question about the need you are solving and be convinced that your business is solving a specific need. The next question to ask is resources that can be committed to the business. Now, many people forget that this question is important, and as soon as they have a sense of what they want to do and the need they want to solve, they jump in. But that can cost you, and I'll explain. The two biggest resources a business needs are time and money. And interestingly, money is less important than time. Why? If you had all the time in the world, if you lived forever, you can make as much money as you want. It's how the world works. The rich are looking for time because that one is what you can't buy. So you need to ask yourself how much time the business requires first before you ask yourself how much money you need. Because once you understand your time constraints, you can plan around time to now be able to find money. Now let me give you some more context. Say you need a graphic designer to design content for you and you don't know how to do graphics design. You can always learn how to do graphics design, or you can sit with a graphics designer for many months as an intern and help him to do your graphic design work. That will not cost you any money, but it may take you 7 months of being an intern to be able to learn to do that single flyer that you want to send out. So your resource there is actually not money as much as it is time. So it's important to ask the question, how much time is required, and how before you ask yourself how much money is required. So now the next thing to do is to piece together the information. For example, you want to run a business that requires you to talk to a delivery dispatch person and give them goods to send. But you leave home at 5 a.m. in the morning and you get back at 7 p.m. Practically, because it's a side gig, you may not actually have time after 7 p.m. and a rider who is willing after 7 p.m. and a client who is willing after 7 p.m. to receive goods. That's a bottleneck that you need to understand and plan for. Another example is you have a business that you want to start, but you work in Achimota and you have to meet clients. Some of your clients are in Kaswa, some of your clients are in Accra Central, some of your clients are in Dansoman. Practically speaking, there's no way you can leave your office in Achimota to go and meet those clients and come back and still be able to keep your job. So putting this information together is important for you. And that leads us to our final question about the opportunity cost. What is the cost of trying to have the business as opposed to your income or as opposed to another opportunity. Now let me explain that. You earn 1,500 cedis a month and you work from 9 to 5 every day. Now you are considering starting a side gig and you want to sell phone cases. Now if you sold 50 cases in a month, you make another, say, 200 Ghana cedis. But because you have to advertise, you have to call clients, send them samples, and then have a dispatch rider deliver them, you find that while you are in the office, in your job, you are constantly on your phone asking for information and feeding information so that you can make your delivery. All of this to make 200 cedis at the end of the month. You need to ask yourself if that additional 200 that you are earning with the work is worth the cost of your employer not being happy with seeing you distracted. Because ultimately there's a cost. There's a point where an employer may say they are not too happy with your distraction and you may lose your job. So it's not about whether or not you are making 200 or more. It's about asking the question if that opportunity cost is worth starting in the first place. Now, assuming you've gone through this entire process, thought through it, asked the questions, and you are convinced you want to start your business, then you need to watch part 2 of this series on how to start a business. Once again, this is Think Like an Ant, where we talk about money, how to grow your money, and how to make your money work for you. We'll catch you in the next episode.